Do we have a real soul which can reincarnate after our physical bodies die? This is one of the most perplexing questions in philosophy and metaphysics. Is our science advanced enough to prove or completely deny the existence of a soul? Many attempts have been made by curious researchers in the past to bring this topic before everyone, and there have been multiple recorded cases which force us to take our minds beyond the conventional way of thinking about life and death. Is death the end of all existence, or is it just an illusion? Let us explore the interesting case of Barbro Karlen. Barbro Karlen was born on May 24, 1954 in Sweden. She seemed just like a normal girl. Nothing about her seemed odd or out of place in her very earliest days. Her parents were happy to receive such a beautiful daughter. But the problems slowly started to creep in when she began to claim that her real name was not Barbro but Anne. She said that her real name was Anne Frank. Her parents did not give much attention to these absurd claims. They simply used to dismiss these as nothing more than the fantasies of a child. However, as time went on, the psychological condition of Barbro became worse. She began to have very disturbing and horrifying nightmares. The frequency of these dreams increased to a very high degree each night, and she used to wake up in the middle of the night frightened, shaking with fear. When her parents asked her about these dreams, she replied that she frequently dreamt of being locked up in a small room. It was even difficult for her to breathe, and someone was always watching her in those dreams. Her condition worsened with time, and eventually, her parents decided to consult a psychiatrist. But strangely, in the appointment with the psychiatrist, Barbro behaved like a normal little girl. She said that she was perfectly all right, and she successfully convinced the psychiatrist that there was no psychological issues with her, that she was perfectly all right. Later, she disclosed that she had a great fear of being locked up in a mental asylum. That is the reason why she stopped to share her dreams and secrets with anyone. Still, she continued to have those horrifying dreams, and in her heart she was convinced that she was not Barbro but a girl named Anne Frank. Barbro was interested in writing from her early childhood. She used to write her thoughts and memories and hide them in her school bag or closet. She didn't dare to share her secrets. She feared that she would be ridiculed and mocked. But after she joined school, she was terrified to find that Anne Frank was a real person, and not just a fragment of her imagination. Still, she didn't dare to share this fact with anyone. Then the truth came before everyone when she and her family were visiting Amsterdam. When strolling through a street, she urged her parents that she wanted to go home, that her home was near. She insisted her parents to follow her. Her parents agreed, and she led them to a house which had now been converted into a museum. It was the Anne Frank Museum. Barbro's parents were shocked that their daughter knew each and every street around the house with great detail. But she had never been to this place since she was born. So how did she know about this place in such detail? The house she had led them to belonged to Anne Frank and her family, who had been killed in a Nazi concentration camp some years ago. This Jewish family had been hiding in their attic from the fear of persecution by the Nazis. But one day, they were betrayed by one of their helpers and were captured. Then they were sent to a concentration camp where Anne and her family died. Her father was the only member who had survived this horror. So what does this story of Barbro Karlen mean? Was she the incarnation of Anne Frank? You see, the concept of rebirth and afterlife is not a new one. From thousands of years, many ancient traditions had the belief that the soul is immortal. It goes through the cycles of birth and rebirth. There are many other cases where a child had claimed to be someone else and could describe her past life in vivid detail. So, what do you think? Is reincarnation really possible?